thanks Leanne and councillors. And thank you for accompanying me, Mr. Watson.
My pleasure.
And it is...
We can tell.
Are you sure? Oh, yeah.
What have we done?
No, we're all good today. We're all good today. I'd just like to point out the picture that we've got up there in front, behind you is the old... I said to Gary, I said, well, why have we just got the Halswell, Hornby, Riccarton Community Board and their picture is outside the Fen Dalton Service Centre and Library. So anyway, Gary quite quickly came up with that's where we used to be and this is where we are now. We're still homeless. But anyway, there's wheels in motion to fix that. But our community board decisions that we made under delegation, quite a significant of them are grants for young people to go and face the world with their challenges and in a positive way. And also we made it a grant to the Chinese Joyful Club and the Chinese Senior Group. So we're thinking of the young people and the oldies and the different cultures, aren't we, Brother Jimmy?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if we move over or move on to our significant programs and initiatives, we've got the Hornby Library, Customer Service Centre and Southwest Leisure Centre projects. Our staff have been meeting with the Hornby cluster of schools to talk about library needs in the area, and we had a workshop on the 30th of October with the project team identifying the next step in the processes. We also had a deputation, or came to our public forum, was Ben Frampton, who was the grandson of Stanley Denton, who donated a very significant part of Denton Park and just reminded people what that purpose was for. The matter was to come to our community board on the 14th of November, but now it's been put out to the 28th because it says in the report it's coming back to the meeting on the 14th. It's now going to be the 28th of November. There's been a joint workshop with the ITE committee and our community board over the Riccarton Road upgrade and works going into the future, so it was quite good to be involved in that. And we've got another one coming up as the Lincoln Road widening with Curlitz and from Curlitz to Wrights Road. So we're going to have a joint meeting with Spraden Cashmere Community Board coming up. Do you know when that is?
Monday night.
Monday night, thank you. So moving on then to other things that are happening is we're going to be meeting on the 15th of November with our school principals and Board of Trustees representatives for an early morning breakfast and a chat about issues in covering our schools in our ward and how we can work together on those projects. And events updates you can see up there on the screen there now.
That's better than a beer.
Pardon?
I like the Pukeko
The
better than a
Pukeko,
beer.
absolutely, absolutely. Stomping all around the place, flashing their little wee white tails. Awesome, they're lovely things. We've got a family batch over at the coast and we've got Pukekos running around there all the time. You know, when they have a relationship, it's for life, a Pukeko. I often think about that when you see one that's been run over and think, well, that poor Pukeko's not only lost its life, but its partner is also shattered. So just drive careful around Pukekos.
Yep.
So we had that community, our Riccarton Let's Have Fun Day in Harrington Park was very, very well attended and a great event. Over 1,000 people turn out to that, so that's something that there's been quite a lot going on. Of course, that and the Pukeko Stomp which was actually put off or postponed a little bit due to inclement weather. But that helps the Pukekos environment, and then when the weather turns right, people go out there and have some fun. So we're also funding 22 Neighbourhood Week summer events in our ward, so look forward to them happening, and some of them have already started. And we're giving some money to the Oak Development Trust to update the Riccarton website. So that's all good stuff. What else have we got, Gary? We've got the Part A that we need to talk about. Is the
you want to just talk through the slides?
Oh, the halls. Yes. I'd just really like to thank staff and the contractors for the brilliant work they've done on restoring not only this building but other buildings in Halswell Quarry Park. And what a great asset that is to the city of Christchurch. And there's a lot of history there. What we'd like to talk to you about sometime is to actually have a museum. There's a lot of stuff that can be displayed. So we really need to talk about sometimes how we're going to make that happen. But anyway, there we are, and the new home for the South Hornby School, which is now the Branston Intermediate site. So they haven't moved far down the road, but we've had to put in new traffic and safety issues to get the young people to and from school, because the roads are a lot busier than their previous site. And Councillor Clearwater riding his bike down there through somebody's bike. Wasn't St Patrick's Day either. It's a green one. And you've got the regional rep from NZTA riding alongside you. I think there, haven't you, Councillor Clearwater?
Regional manager.
Regional manager, and that's past. That's a unicycle link through Riccarton Bush or Ringimotu. And here's our hyper helpful random facts that we are, as you can see, with the events that we have, a very, very multicultural ward. In fact, 30% of Christchurch's Asian, Middle East and African communities live in the Halswell, Hornby, Riccarton area. And a number of communities run high regular classes to keep their language and culture alive, and just really pleased that we've got the chair of our multicultural committee of the council in our ward. And not only have we got 30% of the cultures, we've got 30% of the workforce of New Zealand, of Christchurch at least, in our ward. That was in the last month's helpful random hyper facts, whatever. Anyway, so other than that, Leanne and councillors, our Part A was to approve the proposed school speed zone in Aidenfield Drive, and it was with great pleasure that our community board supported, totally unamended, was the staff recommendation. So we'd like now to hand that recommendation over to this council to actually give it the final tick of approval. Is there any questions at all?
Thank you. Excuse me, that's my role. Jimmy, you'd like to move the receipt of the report, and Anne would like to second the receipt of the report. So we'll just deal with that first. Tim and then Glenn.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, look, I'm just with regards to 6.1, the widening of Lincoln Road.
Yes.
Just Monday night is going to be a very interesting night, because there are a number in our community, it is the Addington community, that are concerned.
Yep.
Because as you know, that Wrights Road to Whiteley Ave is 4 lanes already.
Yes.
And partly north of those is a short 4 laning, but Lincoln Road is quite wide. But, you know, when you've got 4 lanes going into the start of Addington by Whiteley Ave, there are a number of people feel that it is 4 laning through Addington by stealth, that'll be the next step. So I'm just giving you and your board a heads up that there is actually a lot of angst in that community, a lot of angst. And I've made my feelings very clear.
We have got some issues with people, of course, living further south, that really need to rely on the ability to move in and out of town
Absolutely,
reasonably
Mike.
quickly. But we,
Which is what the
I think
motorway's
we've
for.
been, we've post earthquake, of course. There probably was the opportunity to actually.
Well, with all due respect, Mike, you know, Bram Street's already been killed, Waltham.
Yeah.
And it's so, you know, it just goes on and on.
Yep.
Making a point.
There is there's a lot of
Waltham's
history.
my old stomping ground, and I'm quite well aware of it.
There's a lot of
absolutely.
history here, and 4-laning will kill Addington, so and I don't think there's support for it around the table. Glenn and Phil.
Oh, thank you. Just a question for the staff over the signs. I don't think Ryan's here at the moment. Are you one of his team? Can I ask you a question just over the cost? 2 electronic signs.
Sorry, which is this?
This is in the report with the crossing. Are we doing that?
Avonfield?
Yes.
No.
You're ahead of yourself once.
I heard
Phil?
Mike mention it. Sorry.
Sorry, I was jumping
save
the
it
gun.
for
I thought I was going to get you guys to vote on it, but it's that's
No,
Leanne's
that's
job.
the next one. I'm
know.
receiving the report first. So, Phil.
Mike, I'm just making sure that your board members are aware that in addition to the community's concern around widening it into 4 lanes, that in fact somehow, in terms of having public transport go through from Lincoln Road, that in fact we're going to have to ideally fit a bus priority lane in there too. Are the board members aware of that one?
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
Jimmy Chin.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I have one question. Okay. Regarding to 8.2, the event update. My understanding in October is not only the Riccarton Community Fun Day, and also the Keiko, the Stone Treasure, but another big event like a Templeton Community Day, also been held in the October, but why not in here?
So unfortunately, when we write the reports, Jimmy, it hasn't happened. So we save it till next month so we can show you photos and present it properly. Otherwise, it just comes in as a line.
We was in there, almost 500 people.
I will make sure you get some photos.
It'll make the grade next time.
No, I had the huge responsibility, didn't I, Councillor Chen, to judge the colouring in competition.
Thank you.
Second year
Thank
in a
you for
row.
sharing. I will put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And now we'll move on to the